surprised 2% error rate is still better than dictation.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit whether or not you want to use robots down here. I need accurate information in the medical record.
Just no writers of the PITT. Season 2, episode 6, 12 p.m. Damn you writers. Damn you writers for doing such a good job of tearing out the hearts of me and all the fans with my man Lou. And I will go ahead and get to the end and explain in just a second, but just a chaotic situation with Lou. And the story starts out with Lou as it ended last week. And a lot of us made predictions that we thought Lou was going to survive. He was kind of like the mascot of the hospital. And the writers gave us and the actors gave us a great depiction of why we as human beings need to give people grace when we don't understand why they do some of the behaviors that they do. And so I'm Lamont Tyson. This is the PITT, season 2, episode 6. Please subscribe to the channel. I do have a sponsor in a predictions market called Kalshi. You can check that out at the very end. But for now, let's get into Lou, man. Just damn it, man. Just damn it. Lou has been in and out of this hospital so much, he's touched the heart of everybody. When the episode starts, he's bleeding out of his ET tube. And as a former respiratory therapist, that is definitely not something you want to see. And he's bleeding out of that ET tube because he's got a pulmonary hemorrhage due to his liver failure. And everybody in that room is trying to get this man to come back. If you recall, Dr. Robbie had took some beers he was going to give to him, even though he shouldn't. We now know why he would. He was Dr. Whitaker's patient, and Dr. Langdon had a deep, dark secret with him. So all my predictions about Langdon and him getting into trouble, they've just gone to the grave with Louie. And they eventually go get Dr. Whitaker, and he is just livid. He's distraught. He was the cover of this thumbnail, and I tried to give an illusion so that you guys wouldn't know who it would be. Louie, it could have been our cancer patient, Roxy. It could have been anybody, but just not Louie. Just damn, y'all had to do Louie like this. And when Whitaker comes in there to see him, Langdon finds a picture in his pocket of him and a woman. Automatically, they think it's his wife. So they call the emergency contact, and folks, it is pretty stark when the emergency contact is the hospital. I mean, you never know how down people can get on their luck. You never know what could cause people to be so desperate, so just downtrodden that their life seems to be like Louie. Well, in the end, after we learned that Whitaker had an uncle who he lost due to drinking, we find out that my man Louie had a whole family, ladies and gentlemen. That was his wife, Rhonda, in the picture, his high school sweetheart. Louie didn't want the baby. She wanted a baby. And 1 month before the baby, they went in a car crash. And Louie lost his whole family. He lost his wife, love of his life, and the baby that at first he didn't want, but now had found love for. I love this show, and this show deserves all the Emmys and awards it got, because this is clearly showing you how sometimes when you see someone in a situation, you don't know what it is they've been through. You don't know what it is they're going through. You don't know what has happened to them. If something like that were to happen to me, and some of you've seen pictures of me and my daughter, I'm actually going to be doing a YouTube for my daughter. So if you guys want to see my daughter speak Spanish, she's in a Spanish immersion program. Check me out like Sunday. I'll put a link. But something like that is going to devastate anybody. Anyone who has a heart, anyone who loves their family, anyone who has been with someone as long as Louie, and I'm assuming he was probably early 60s. So high school for him was like 1960, the civil rights era. And to have been with a woman that long and then get ready to have a baby, it is just sad. And I love how this hospital depicts how they go and pay their respects. I've worked in a hospital that done that, but just damn you writers. You know how to screw us. You know how to make us mad. And I honestly would love to have any of you writers come on my show for an interview, or any of the actors, if you hear this, not just to interview you about the show, but behind every actor, behind every writer, there's a story that creates inspiration for the way they act or the way they write. The story is you. And I would love to have you all come on, have an interview with me, talk to my audience about who you are, what built your repertoire to be writing and doing such a phenomenal story as the PITT. Then we jump to Dana, the nurse. And let me say this about this episode. This episode was very nurse-centric, and it needed to be, because the actual heartbeat of every hospital is a good, well-experienced nurse. And Dana has got the new nursing student, Emma, walking with her. And shout out to empathetic, fine Emma, by the way, and Miss Dana, fantastic actress. They're walking past a guy and he grabs Emma by the arm. And I'm laughing because Nurse Dana jumped all up in that ass and pushed the poop through his mouth. She was not having it. She pulled down the paper. She let him know this is not something you do in this hospital. This is not something you do anywhere. And as you can see there, Emma is doing, whoever the actress is playing Emma, you're doing a damn good job of showing just kind of the trepidation, the euphoria, the sadness, all the different emotions you go through when you're new in the hospital. I went through it too. I was like a deer in headlights at a lot of situations where people that was experienced was just going through the motions like, bruh, you're not going to kill them. Do your job. And you're a little nervous because you feel like you're dealing with people's lives. And the actress playing Emma, good job, my sister. Then we get to Jackson, folks. I made a prediction about him that whatever happened to him might have had more to do with the mall cops that chased him down with the flashlight. And we come to find out my man is having some psychological issues, people. He was saying that someone didn't want him to pass the bar, and most likely it was voices in his head based on what the psych person said in this episode. And shout out to his sister, and the actress playing his sister is doing a damn good job of her fine self of displaying what it would be like if you have a brother that you and your family love, and he's going into something like law, and then you immediately find out in the hospital he's got mental health. Now, something tells me this family knew he had mental health. You guys post your comments and let me know what you think. I think the family knew he had mental health and maybe thought he was going to be good, but I hope he can get the help he needs and get back to being a lawyer. And I hope we get more of the backstory from him and his sister. We got the cancer patient Roxy, and man, she's a pitiful little thing with her nice little bob, short haircut, acting her ass off. She screams in pain. She's in the bed. She can't get off her bedpan. We learned that she's been married to what appears to be a good man for 20 years. And that's when the writers start taking us down this road of intrigue, of mystery. Because for whatever the reason, she doesn't want to go back home. For whatever the reason, she wants time apart from her husband. And my first impulse, ladies and gentlemen, I was thinking that maybe the husband who, by all accounts, seemed like he is the Superman of husbands. For a minute, I'm thinking maybe he's sleeping with the doula. And then when you have a patient who's terminally ill with cancer, who knows that their spouse is longing for connection, touch, and things that they can't do. Because I know cancer patients, women in particular, who they get on some of these drugs and they get on the therapy and they cannot make love. And that tends to be a point for these women feeling like they're depriving their husbands. And in some cases, they'll tell their husbands, you can have intimacy with someone, you just need to let me know and I need to approve them. And I was starting to think that that could be the situation here with this doula. But as we go through the story, she winds up asking him to just go home, get the house prepared for her. And the doula said she would go later. Now, the doula, the death doula, the double D, wind up disappearing with the husband for a little while where they're supposed to be in the cafeteria, and I assume they were. But what is Roxy not telling us? She doesn't want to go home. She does not want to go home. I think she's even lying about her level of pain. Something is preventing her from going home, and I would love to hear what you guys think. What do you think? Then we got my main man, Gus the Jailbird. And Gus the Jailbird has been malnutritioned at the jail cell. Whole lot of jailhouse rock going on there, and I'd be damned if Kid Rock probably was doing the concert because his ass couldn't sell out a county fair. So you go to jails and Turning Points USA to do something and then try to knock the Super Bowl. But anyway, I digress. My man Gus had a broken rib. They're fighting over getting him out of there, Dr. Al versus Dr. Robbie. Now we learned that Dr. Al has a huge hard on for social justice. And anybody that follows this channel beyond what I do for streaming, TV, and movies, you know that I am big into social justice issues too. But right here, the decision of do we move him or keep him runs in line with what always happens with social justice, the financial bottom line. That's always the fight. Which one helps the other? I contend that they can work in harmony, but we need to put social justice just a little ahead of the financial part. And in this episode, you had Dr. Al wanting to take care of this man, wanting to make sure he's got food. She wanted to put him somewhere where he had privacy. Dr. Robbie was like, nope, put his ass over there in the fishbowl. Let everybody see him for the safety of the patients. I actually agree with Dr. Robbie on that. But Dr. Robbie also wants to get him up out of there quickly as possible because you've got all these other patients coming from Westbridge. And technically he's okay to go, but Sexy Samara and Dr. Al are just all going through what they need to do to make sure that there's some nutrition for this guy. And it even got to a philosophical conversation of a patient Dr. Robbie had versus this guy, Dr. Al. Basically, she was like, we shouldn't send him back to jail right now because I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if the situation is right. Robbie called. They've got everybody in place. And Robbie's like, nope, we got to get his ass up out of here. And then she had to check Robbie and was like, okay, what makes the homeless guy's life more important than this jailhouse guy? We could make a nice long argument that certainly supports Robbie. At the very least, we know when he goes back to jail, he's got 24/7 around the clock service, around the clock management, nurses there. There is food there. We send this homeless guy out there. There's nobody to look out for him. But then we also could contend with Dr. Al. If he was getting all that in the first place, why is he in here malnourished and beat the hell up? What do you guys think about that discussion? Post your comments. It's an interesting thing to think about, and I love how this show gives you things and insights that go on in life to continue to think about. Nurse Dana takes Nurse Emma to clean the body of our man Louie, and my man has rigor mortis, and it scares the pure hell out of exciting Emma, and Dana's just giving her the ropes about how you take care of the dead people, how you clean them, how in this job you're going to see a whole lot of this and you need to be prepared. And again, this was a fine episode showing what the nurses need, how the nurses are the lifeblood of the hospital, even to the point where the administration sent down fucking donuts and carbs. And as Dana said, we need more nurses. Don't try to placate us with donuts and carbs. Give us more nurses. And you had basically almost every facet of nurse. They even introduced a new nurse in this episode named Kim, who was fine as hell too. Just shout out to the casting of this show, who came in there and was able to break down a particular situation in one of the rooms and just wowed the students, the med students, because nurses are like that. If you've never been in a hospital and you think that doctors, they might have more education than some nurses, but in terms of experience and having to deal with every facet of the hospital, nurses are really the lifeblood. You take a nurse out of a hospital, the hospital will fail. We get the Evil Knievel, Brandon, who's running around here damn near the size of a linebacker, probably about 5'8", 266, jumping around on motorcycles. His was the bullet. He's in here. He's got a little knee bump. He's got some issues going on with his wrist, and he's thinking he's just going to get patched up and go right back down out there, evil Knieveling it. The biggest thing for me with him was I think he made Dr. Robbie kind of see his mortality. Dr. Robbie is about to go take a 2,000-mile journey to Canada, and you on your bed, you're talking to Evil Knievel, who's doing tricks on the motorcycle. I get doing tricks and jumping off buildings is different from just keeping your wheels flat and riding. However, most hospitals and doctors, you know what they call people on motorcycles? Organ donors. And by the end of this season, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think Dr. Robbie's going to be taking that motorcycle on the sabbatical. I think that they're going to keep putting things in his path to show him that maybe he doesn't need to take the bike to go on the sabbatical. And this was definitely one of those things I think was kind of a turning points moment. And eventually it's time to patch up his knee. And this is when they brought in, here's the theme, Nurse Donnie, who is amazing on the sutures. And it seems like that one medical student, I'm getting gay vibes from the male medical student. Did you see how giddy he was? It looked like he had a damn orgasm when Donnie did this suture. He was giddy as hell. I mean, I've only seen giddy like that in school kids and two queer eye for the straight guy. So you guys post your comments and let me know what you think about that. And will anything come out of that? Now, you know, Donnie's got his own thing. He's got his family, but that doesn't stop people from liking someone. Now we get to old Santos. I think we finally know why Santos is acting like there's a stick up her ass. I think there's something going on with Santos and Garcia. I think that Santos has not had that carpet much a very long time. She needs that right now. Garcia to come over, and Garcia's like, nope, not coming over there. So it makes me wonder, has Garcia moved on? Is there some tension? Does Garcia feel uncomfortable with this relationship? We had another moment where the nurse Dana is pulling everybody together, punched in the face. She's like, bruh, you don't have to prove yourself to me. I trust you. I believe in you. Do your thing and pick a better time to talk to Robbie. That's a nurse for you, ladies and gentlemen. That is a nurse. And then we get to my man Rocky, who we didn't need him to tell us he looked like he was in a pie eating contest or a hot dog eating contest. But that's what he did. He ate 36 hot dogs and he kept throwing up and throwing up and throwing up. Now he won the title, but at what cost did he win the title? And eventually he was able to make it out, but he had to evacuate his gut. Now, folks, eating contests are difficult. People who are extremely overweight, eating the way they eat, is not just something that they can shut off, folks. It's deeper than that. And eventually you eat so much that your stomach continues to stretch. So I would tell you to have apathy for individuals who are extremely overweight. If you've never been through what they've gone through, I've been through it. I was 325 at one point in time, got myself down to 195 bodybuilding show. But I also know what goes on in your mind, what talks to you, the pressures in life. And if food is your only vice, that is very deadly because you have to eat to survive. It takes work to overcome it. Oh boy. We get to Harlo, the patient that cannot hear. And folks, I think they just confirmed my theory from episode 1 when they found the baby, that Harlo is the mother of this baby. You want to know what was revealed that made me think that in this episode that confirms my theory from the beginning? Harlo basically sign language and said she had a stomach ache and passed out. Folks, I'm here to tell you that was not gas. That was not Sunny Meadows in her large intestine. That was a baby. And they also had a scene here where they showed the baby. The baby is good. The baby is clean. The baby is eating. And I think that we will see by the end of this season, that baby is Harlo's baby. Post your comments. Let me know what you think about my theory on that one. Then we get to the scene where the lady doctor who comes from upstairs has complete problems with Robbie, but her real problems is with Dr. Al, because Snake in the Grass Santos has been using Dr. Al's technology to chart. And that technology missed an appendectomy. It missed all kinds of shit. And then it was adding stuff to this patient from the lady who came upstairs. And what did she do? She gave Dr. Al a good cussing out about, I don't give a damn if you use a robot. I need my chart to be accurate. All Dr. Al could say, well, this is not 100% accurate. It has its blah, blah, blahs. I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, technology is a good thing, but you've got to ensure that you follow up behind it as a human. And when you're in a hospital day like today, where they've got Westbridge coming over, you're taking on this extra load. Today is not today to be flirting around with the new AI. I support AI, can be a great tool to save time. I do believe in that, but not on this day when you've got so much going on in the hospital. I think that they need to, come back on that and do it a little later. And then the tail end of this thing for me, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that jailhouse guy who was doing fine and was about to be out the hospital, all of a sudden his sats crashed. And when that happened, the first thing I thought to myself, I said to myself, damn if Dr. Al is dastardly. She's dastardly in her social justice. Come to find out, the person that actually done something was Nurse Dana, making her own social justice call. And I like that. We start with how precious the nurses are in the hospital, and we basically end with how precious the nurses are in the hospital. So what an episode, ladies and gentlemen. Post your comments. This was by far my favorite episode, the most emotional, impactful episode. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. If you want to do some prediction markets, you want to bet on who you think is going to win a Senate race, who's going to win a football game, basketball game, how many votes will be doing. You can do all that on this app called Kalshi. You download it right now using my link in description. You'll get $25. Take a look at it. It's a predictions market. They basically letting you predict on pretty much anything you want, from who's going to win an Emmy, which I would bet money right now on Kalshi that the PITT wins another Emmy. You can bet on who wins the Oscars. Dare I say Timothy Chalamet. Whatever you want. Download the app. Get it. Get the $25 they're going to give you for using my link. And until that next Sexy as Hell PITT Season 7 video that I'll bring you guys next week, I'll see you.